Welcome to another Pilates Reformer workout. Today we're going to be doing a full body workout on the Reformer. To start, place on 3 heavy springs and 1 light spring on my balanced body Reformer. That's 3 reds, 1 blue. Place your headrest down. We're going to start with a take on the classical Pilates mat series of 5 with a little twist at the end because, frankly, I'm very bloated today. So meet me lying down on the Reformer. And of course, hit the subscribe button before we get going. And if you'd like access to exclusive workouts, weekly workout plans, and more, click the link in the description box to access my membership subscription. I'll see you there. I've removed my foot bar. You're welcome to lower yours or just leave it in place. Lie down on your machine. We're going to scoot away from the shoulder blocks to give ourselves a little bit of room between our shoulders and the blocks. We're going to bring both legs up to tabletop to start. Find a nice neutral spine. So what do I mean by that? Bottom of the sacrum comes really heavy, nice natural curve. Lifting the head, neck, and chest. We're going to bring one knee into chest, extending the other leg. We pulse and switch. Pulse, pulse, and pulse. Let's go for 6, 5. Belly button is pulling down toward the mat. Last 3, shoulders are down, chin is tucked. Last 1. Good. Now we move right into our double leg stretch. Both knees into chest. Arms back, legs forward. Pull the knees in. Reach. Wrap the hands around the knees. Reach. Arms come around. Pull the knees into chest. 5 more. And of course, if your neck gets tired at any point, you can always place the head down. Of course, we will get more core work or deeper core work if you lift the head, neck, and chest. Do your best. It's not a competition. I think we have 1 more. Good. We will go right into our scissor switch. Pulse, pulse, the leg in. Pulse, pulse. Both legs straight. Pulse, pulse. Pulse, pulse. Keeping the chin tucked. And give it the leg a little bit of a deeper pull in as you switch. This is 4. Good. Keep breathing. Keep the shoulders wide. Last set of 2. Nice hamstring stretch on those legs, 2. And 1. Good. Give yourself a quick little rest. Head down. Rock your head side to side. Hug your knees into your chest. Now, double leg lower and lift. Legs extend up to the ceiling. Heels right over your hips. We switch to Pilates V. You can lift the head, neck, and chest for this one. For my body, I prefer to keep the head down. You can do either one that suits you. Inhale to lower. Exhale to bring it back up. Heavy sacrum. Inhale to lower. Exhale to bring it back up. Now, your range might be super deep. My body has its own foibles that don't make that an excellent option for me. But feel free to take as much range as you can while keeping the pelvis really stable. So what do I mean by that? You're not arching in the back as the legs lower or flattening through the spine as they come up. You're keeping the ribs really heavy. And if you have the head, neck, and chest lifted, you're keeping a relaxed upper body. If your back hurts, you can, of course, place your hands under your sacrum here as well. Let's take 2. And 1. Good. Now, normally we would transition right into crisscross, elbow to knee on the opposite side. Today, that's not a great choice for me, so I'm going to try something a little bit different. Bring your elbows wide. Hands wrap around the shoulder blocks or the pegs behind if you have those accessible. Tabletop, knees right over hips. I'm going to open the right leg out to the side. Exhale, bring it back to center. Left leg out to side. Exhale, bring it back to center. So it's not a clam where the toes are staying together and the knee is going wide. I'm actually bringing the entire leg out to the side so that the knee and ankle stay aligned with each other, or the knee and toe stay aligned with each other even. Good. Lots of obliques to stabilize. So we're still hitting obliques in this warm-up series. Exhale as you bring it back to center. Keep that neutral spine if you feel yourself flattening out through the mid-back. If you're able to, keep your bottom of the sacrum heavy, ribs down, ribs feeling nice and heavy. Good. You know what? Let's make it a series of 6. Why not? Zip the inner thighs together. We're going to bring both legs over to the side. Exhale, bring them back up over your hips. Both legs over to the other side, keeping your upper body nice and relaxed. So the difference here is we're letting that top hip come up off the mat a bit as the legs go to the side, whereas in the last exercise, we were keeping that other side very stationary and both hips plugged down. Good. Let's keep it going. Shh. Inhale side. Exhale center. Inhale side. Exhale center. 2 more each side. I'm sweating already. I don't know about you. Exhale center. Other side. Exhale center. Hopefully you're feeling the obliques. Your side abs really fire up. Last one. Exhale center. Very good. Grab your legs. Pull your knees in toward your chest. Relax your shoulders. Take a big breath in. Pull them in a little bit closer. Look left, look right, or right and left. Wherever you started is fine. Let's continue on. All right, last thing while we're here. Hands will still be wrapped around the shoulder blocks or the pegs for your straps if you have them. Let's bring the knees over the hips, shins parallel to the ceiling, back to tabletop. We're going to take a variation on corkscrew. So we'll start in our neutral spine, ribs heavy. Bring the knees out to the side, top hip lifts, all the way around to the bottom, over to the other side, back to center. Reverse. Over to the left, down, around, and up, back to starting. To the right. So yes, the hip angle is opening as we bring the knees forward. So we're getting a hip lift as we go to the left, bringing both hips down to the mat as we bring it out in front. Left hip lifts as we go to the right. Let's reverse 1 more set, meaning 1 more each side. Good. It can be quite hard to control, no? Even with the bent knees. Good. Back to center. If that felt like a really big challenge, continue on with that variation with the bent knees. Otherwise, let's take the legs straight up to the ceiling. We'll try our true corkscrew. So I'm just going to fidget a little bit so I feel comfortable and nice and stable. Toes right over your hips to start. Let's bring both legs over to the right, straight, down, around, left, and at the top. Well, let's pulse the hips up. Ooh, that felt challenging today. Other side. Elbows stay wide. Good. Right. Down, around. I'm trying not to kick the wall too. That's complicating things for me a little bit here. Left. And again, the range can be as wide or as narrow as you like. Take that big exhale at the top. Yeah, that was much easier for me when I exhaled. Good. 1 more set. Inhale around. Exhale up. Last one. Good. All right, that was a challenge for me today. Shake out your arms. If you feel any tension in them from holding onto the pegs, hug your knees into your chest. Let your shoulders melt back away from your ears. Oh, like they're just dripping into the mat underneath you, into the bed. Good. Let's roll on up. We're going to put our foot bars back up or replace them, and let's continue on. It was bold of me to attempt corkscrew, and I'm not feeling so connected to my abs, but here we are. All right, so foot bars are up. We're still on that 3 heavy and 1 light spring arrangement. Now we'll actually start using the springs. We will move into footwork. Now, if you're bored with footwork, it's like eating your vegetables, man. It's such a good one. You gotta do it. We'll start with heels in the outer corners to start. Just get your spine into a nice neutral position. Deep breath in, shoulders back, exhale. Extend the carriage long, or extend the legs long rather. Bring the carriage all the way in without riding the springs. Exhale, stretch the legs. Bring the carriage in slowly with control. Lots of pressure in those 2 feet. Press out and back in. Exhale as we go out. And when I say don't ride the springs, what I mean is don't let the carriage bring you in. You control the carriage in, right? Okay, let's keep it going for 3. Last 2. one. Halfway in, let's take our tiny pulses up and down. Go for 8, 7. Everything in your upper body is relaxed. Nice relaxed facial muscles. That space between your eyebrows is widening. Your jaw is unclenching. Your upper traps are relaxing. I lost count, but that's going to be 8. Exhale, press out. Bring the carriage all the way in. Let's bring our balls of the feet to the foot bar. Still in the same spot. Now heels will be lifted. So we're in our releve or high heel position if we're so inclined to think that way. We're going to press out. Heels stay high. Bend the knees. Bring it all the way home. Heels are still lifted. Press out. Spiral the legs from the hips, wrapping outward. Nice external rotation. So if you see your knees are pointed more up than out, see if you can rotate from this upper thigh area, this hip socket area, to get them to turn slightly more out. So it's that sensation of heels pulling forward, but you're getting that wrap from all the way up here, not from your knee or your ankle. 3 more. And try to get that full extension through your knees without locking them. So you want to find that last little engagement of the quads to really extend the knee to that full extension. Last one. Once again, halfway home. Heels stay high this time. Tiny pulses up and down. Find the spot that's far enough away that we're getting inner thighs, glutes, and hamstrings. You may have to play around with it. Just moving the carriage a few centimeters. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in, exhale. Extend it long. Bend the knees, bring it in. Now keep that wrapped turn-up position, Pilates V, toes on the bar. Knees are about as wide as your machine. Heels are lifted and anchored together. We're going to exhale, extend the legs long. Find that zip up. Inhale, bring it all the way back. Still in neutral spine, ribs still heavy. Exhale. Zip the legs all the way up and bring it all the way in. As you exhale, think about your inner thighs, engaging your pelvic floor, engaging your abdominals, lifting your belly button up to your sternum and bring it back. Relax. Exhale, zip up. Everything pulls up from the bottom. Inhale as you bring it back in. Core softens, pelvic floor relaxes. 3. Last 2. Check in with your face, your jaw, and your neck. Relax anything tensing up there. Let's make this our last one now, extending all the way out. Guess what's coming next? You predicted it. Tiny pulses up and down. Find your spot where you get lots of inner thighs, some glutes, some hamstrings. We're going to pulse for 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale, exhale. Extend long. Zip the legs together. Find that pull up. Inhale, bring it back in. Very nice. Switching to parallel. Toes still on the foot bar. Heels lifted. Still in that raised heel position. Our releve. Find your neutral spine. Rib cage down. Big breath in. Exhale. Everything engages. Press out. Heels press under with control. Heels lift with control. Keep the heels high. Bend the knees. Bring it all the way in. Big breath in. Exhale. Extend out. Push the heels under. Lift the heels. Bend the knees. Bring it home. Heels are high. Big breath in. Start your exhale maybe just before you start to straighten out the legs. Lift the heels. Bring it all the way back in. Now what does that do for us? That helps us engage the core to automatically support everything that's happening with movement here in the lower legs, which helps with pelvic stability. Of course, everything in Pilates is a core exercise. We love core. We're also taking that big softening inhale as we bring the carriage in. Relaxing the core and pelvic floor is just as important as engaging and tightening it. If you don't get enough of that relaxation, it can lead to problems. I've had it, I've had them. I've spent several $1,000s in PT to try to solve it. So really take a moment to take that big, relaxing breath. Feel the air fill your entire diaphragm, including a descension down into the pelvic floor, assuming you don't have any pelvis issues that would be counterproductive for. Let's press out. Now we're going to lower and lift the heels. Press under and lift. Press under and lift. And it is said that calf work and calf toning can relate to pelvic floor as well. So as I understand it, as we tone the calves, they become strengthened and tightened. That influence can also lead up to our pelvic floor muscles. So we like to both strengthen and soften or relax, which we will do in a moment once we're done with this. Good. Let's take 3. Last 2. And 1. Lift the heels, bend one leg, extend the other. On that straight leg, you'll have the ball of the foot on the foot bar. That heel is going to press under the foot bar. Take a big inhale. Once again, feel the air fill up and down into your pelvic bowl, so to speak. As you exhale, your abdomen and your pelvic floor can tighten gently. And as you exhale, feel the air naturally stretch those muscles. As you exhale, deepen that calf stretch on the straight leg. Good. Let's switch sides. Other leg is straight, ball of the foot on the foot bar. Other leg is bent. Take your softening, relaxing breath. Don't forget to check in with your face muscles and your neck. Take a moment to just manually switch those off. Don't be afraid to let your face muscles relax to the point where you're making a weird face. I have a sequence I like to do in in-person class where you give a PSA of like, hey, it's going to be a weird face you're making, but bear with me, it'll be worth it. So, especially if you're in the comfort of your own home, don't be afraid to do it. Let's bring the carriage all the way in. Calves on the foot bar. I'm going to start with one at a time. You're welcome to do one or both. Let's rock the legs side to side or front to back. Just find a moment to massage out any sticky spots and any spots that feel particularly tight. And you can play around with where on the calf you are taking this. I have a varicose vein on this side, so I tend to try to avoid that. That feels pretty uncomfortable. So, word of warning, if that's a factor for you, you might want to exercise a little bit of caution there. We'll take just a sec to roll this out, and we'll get back into moving a little bit more. Good. Now let's put the other calf on the foot bar. Take the same variations you liked on the other side, or if something else feels good to the side that didn't on the other side, go for it. Ironically, I'm having a bunch of pain on the left side of my body today. Typically, I would expect my left calf to be crabby, but it's not. My right calf was much more ouchy. So this is an interesting little piece to do some detective work on later. All right, let's finish up. Come on up to sitting. We're going to switch our springs and move on. Alrighty, next I've switched onto one heavy and one light spring. My headrest is up. I'm taking both straps in my hands. I will come down to lying down, and we'll go for some hands and straps for core and for arms. Arms will extend up over the shoulders, fingertips right over your shoulder sockets, not behind. Legs will come up to tabletop. Knees right over hips, shins parallel to the ceiling. I'd give myself just a little room between the shoulders and the shoulder blocks so I have some space to move. We're going to press the palms down toward the front. Inhale, bring it back up. If that starts to feel easy, or you want more, you can curl up at the head, neck, and chest. You can also marry that with an extension out to 45 degrees. Or you could do single leg if you prefer. I'm going to keep my head down, keep it at tabletop for now, but choose your own intensity adventure there. Good, let's take another 3. Just like this. Last 2. Use that breath cue, that exhale. And 1. Back up over the shoulders. Good. Now that we're here, we're going to curl up, extend out. Open the legs, close the legs. Knees in, elbows in. Press out. Open, close the toes. Knees in, bend the elbows. Press out. Open, close. Knees in, bend the elbows. 4 more. Open, close. Knees in, keep the curl if you can. Press out. Open, close. Knees in, bend the elbows. I forget if we have 1 or 2 more left. So let's do 2. Press out, open, close. Knees in, elbows in. Rest the head, rest the feet down on the foot bar. Windshield wiper the knees, side to side, and let's move on. So once again, arms come up over your shoulders, fingertips right over the shoulder sockets, legs to tabletop. You can curl up with this one and or extend the legs out. You're also welcome to keep them in tabletop. Press the palms down, tricep extensions. Heavy sacrum, neutral spine, bend and extend the elbows. I've got my elbows hovered up off the mat. You're also welcome to take them down to the mat if you like that connection better. Either way, please feel that sense of squeezing the elbows in toward the waist to help activate through the back of the arm, your triceps. Collarbone is staying open and wide. Let's take another 10. Let's go for it. 9. Exhale as you press through the strap. On your own time. Make sure the shoulders are staying down, away from your ears. You're broadening that space in between your eyebrows. I'm saying it because I need to do it too. Last 2 for me. And last 1. Arms float up over the shoulders, rest your feet down. Relax your elbows out to the side. I'm just going to take a moment to windshield wiper the knees really widely. Letting the top hip come over. Other side. A nice low back stretch there too. Good, let's continue on. A little bit for obliques now. Arms come up over the shoulders, legs to tabletop, but this time we will find some space in between the knees. So the legs are not zipped together. We've got some room in between. So for this one, we're going to curl up, press into the straps, frame your right leg with your hands, roll back down. Roll up, frame your left leg with your hands. So one hand is always going into that empty space between your knees, while the other hand goes to the outside of the leg. Take care to try to keep both arms really straight. Think about reaching the fingertips out and away. And if your head, neck, and shoulders are really tired or flexion doesn't suit you, you can of course keep your head down for this one. So take the variations that work for you. You're also welcome to curl up with the head, neck, and chest, and or extend the legs out. That's another option. One thing to keep in mind is as you curl up, don't let that knee come into chest. You want to keep it right over your hip. 1 more each side. And I think we've had enough of that. Last one, good. All right, rest your feet down, windshield wiper them. Take a sec. Good. So sit on up. Let's switch to one heavy spring for this one. You could even do a light spring if you prefer. I'll place the headrest down. Sometimes that feels better to me on this one. Both straps are going to be just placed right together so they're making contact. One hand over the other. We're going to pull away so that our hands are just about right over our chest. Diamond shape position with the legs, heels together, knees apart. Big breath in. Exhale, push through. Straight elbows and roll down. Try to keep your neutral spine here as we get moving. Good, let's take 3 more like this. Last 2. And of course, if flexion isn't feeling great to you, keep the head down, push the arms forward. But again, try to keep those really straight elbows. Next time you come up, switch the other hand to top. 5 more like this. Straight wrists, straight elbows. Last 2. And 1. Hold there. Hands stay where they are. Pulse the hips up and down. We've got 5, 4, 3. Try not to move the carriage. and 1. Legs stay in diamond shape. Bring the hands back up over the chest. Switch the opposite hand to the top. Straight elbows. We push through. Hold there. Don't move the carriage. Tiny pulses up and down. Do your best. Just 3. Lots of low abs. 2. Open shoulders. 1. Very good. Place your feet down on the foot bar. Once again, we're going to make a theme of it. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. Let's continue on. Bring it back up to sitting when you have a sec. I'm going to place that light spring back on. So I'm on a heavy and a light spring. It's a red and a blue on my machine. Come back down. Head is going to be on the headrest. You can place it up for this one. I can't remember if we did this one last week, but it's great. It's called chicken wing. It's really nice for your upper back muscles. We're going to just cross the strap. So I've got the left strap in my right hand and my right strap in my left hand. Thread your hands through the loops like bracelets. We're going to bring our arms out to the side. So our hands are kind of close together at the top. Elbows are wide, and really make sure that they float as close to the bottom as they can. Knees over the hips, shins parallel to the ceiling. I'm going to pull the ropes, bring the elbows rather, down to the sides of my body. Arms extend slightly at the top. So my hands are kind of making an arc a little bit, and so are the elbows. So the hands come towards each other as the arms extend up, and the elbows bend and pull in toward my ribs. So it's sort of an arc position. And all those muscles that support your shoulder blades are going to be making this motion happen. So you should feel your shoulder blades moving underneath your back. If this is hard to place, you might need a little bit more practice or a little bit more back strength, or maybe even a little bit more resistance or a little less resistance. Play around with it. But think about all of the motion happening with the shoulder blades separating as the hands come up and squeezing together at the very bottom tips as the elbows come in toward the body. Let's take 3 more. Oops, my feet are dipping. Last 2. And last one. Very nice. Okay, let's take the straps off of the hands, uncross them. Feet will go into the straps. We will do our feet and strap series. Surprise, surprise. Legs extend up to the ceiling. Straps on the arches. And let's get comfy. So scoot away from the shoulder blocks ever so slightly. Bottom of the sacrum, really heavy on the mat. Find your big crease at the hips. So what we really want is natural curve in the low back, heavy sacrum. We're going to keep that position as we bring the legs down, and find that big crease in the hip as we go up without compromising the position and lifting the butt up. That's not going to do a whole lot for us, right? Other than maybe make our back sore. So think about your sacrum being your weight as your anchor down to the mat. That big crease in the hip, that's going to give us more hamstring stretch on the way up. And I was talking about this in class a little bit this week with my folks in New York. And I really like to think about feet and straps, lower and lift, as being a callback to that lower and lift section we did and the variations on series of 5. If you remember, we had to really use our core muscles as the legs lowered and lifted to keep our stability there, right? Here we have the benefit of the straps to help support the legs as they go down and take some of that force off. But really we should still keep that sensation of the ribs pulling down toward the pelvis to keep this core stability here, right? That makes it less of a leg burner, right? Of course, we're still going to get lots of hamstrings, glutes, all that good stuff, but we want to emphasize the core even a little bit more. I'll come off of my core stability soapbox in a sec. Last one like this. Let's go right into our leg circles, nice and easy. Open, down, around, and together. And same thing, pretend that you were doing this one without the feet in the straps. We want that pulling of the ribs down to the pelvis, just as if we were doing this on a mat. Of course, we get the benefit of the resistance through the spring, both for stability and for some nice, juicy leg work, but why not use our brains to make this even more meaningful? You're a smart cookie. I know you can do it. Good. Let's reverse. Now squeeze down together. Ribs pull down toward the hips, especially as the legs lower and start to move around. So if you feel like you start to dump forward in the pelvis to get the legs as low as possible, it's actually probably less productive than you may feel in the moment. Once I really started to fine-tune that sensation of the ribs pulling down to the hips, that natural curve in the low back, and almost like the spot right above your tailbone being the anchor to the mat, that's when all this core connection really started to make more sense for me. And this exercise became a lot harder in a really fun way. Good. All right, now we switch to Pilates V, heels together, toes apart. Let's take some frog circles or frog bicycles. We're gonna bend the heels down toward the pelvis, push out, keep the heels flexed or the feet flexed as the legs come up. Bend the knees, push straight out, bring it all the way back up. Oops, keep the heels together. And up, same rules apply. Find that pulling down of the ribs toward the hip bones. Find that tension in between the hip bones too. Get that deep core control going. Last two like this. And one. And hey, are your eyebrows trying to pull together? Maybe relax the muscle between them. Reverse. Bend the knees in toward your pelvis. Extend up. Lower down, bend the knees in, extend straight up. I don't know why my forehead muscles think that they can solve this problem that's going on here, but it's kind of funny. And I'm sure a common attention pattern for a lot of us, huh? Good, 3 more from here. Last 2. And 1. Good. Let's take a quick butterfly stretch, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Hold on to the ropes above the hardware. And here you can just kind of let everything go. You don't need to be very precious about the placement. Just want to feel stretch and release. So this might be a good time to think about that big relaxing inhale and what it does for the pelvic floor, right? Which does connect to the inner thighs. So if we're feeling like we could use a big stretch for the inner thighs, stands to reason that a big relaxing breath where the air expands into the pelvic floor muscles will also help us feel tension release in the inner thighs. Let's try that again. As we inhale, let's feel the diaphragm expand up and down, as well as side to side. And as we exhale, let's see if any of that releases a little bit more. Good. Peter Pan, stretch out to the side. Right leg extends. You can pull that rope into your side. We'll make this really snappy. Left leg next. After the right leg comes into side, pull that toward you. Very nice. Let's take the straps off of the feet. We will switch to 1 red spring or 1 heavy spring. Place your left strap onto the arch of your foot. We're going to keep the right foot free, Now really anchor yourself on that left foot. We want to really find a plug of the left hip down into the mat, left heel right over left hip. Bring the right leg up to meet it. So we've got 1 leg anchored with the strap and the rope, 1 leg unanchored. So we're going to test that theory or that thought about core control, ribs to pelvis. So let's begin by lowering the right leg down. Inhale. Exhale. Bring it back up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale. Bring it back up. We've got 6. Spine is stable and still. This is 5. 4, feeling more quads probably, but we want to feel abs. Your hip flexors will get work too. Use your breath before that leg starts moving if you can. Last 2. And last 1. Good, hold. Bring the leg out to the side. Exhale, bring it back to center. Might be a little hard to see on camera, but I'm bringing the leg directly to the side of my left leg. Only going to do 6 of these. This is 4. Last 3. 2, keeping the length through the leg. Quad is pulling the kneecap up my leg. Now circles. Down, around, and up. Down, around, and up. One more in this direction. Whew, that is easier said than done. Switch. We're going to reverse. Forward, side, and down. Up, forward, side, and down. Good. Let's place that right leg down on the foot bar. Take the left strap off of the foot. Definitely going to feel some strength through the hip flexors after that one. Let's go for the other side. So, right foot in the right strap. Right leg extends up over the hip. We're going to bring the left leg up to meet it. And let's try to plug your hips right down into the mat so we're not curled under. We've got that neutral spine. Parallel to start. Let me just finish fidgeting. We're going to tap the leg down. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale down. Exhale, engage the abs before you start to bring the leg up. 5 more. This is 4. Take the leg only as low as you can while still stabilizing through the pelvis. Last 2. And last 1. Good. Now we open up directly to the side. So I'm sorry this one is so difficult to see. I only have one camera angle for now. Join my membership if you'd like to finance another camera angle. I don't have it yet, but I'd love to. Let's do 3. Bring it to center. Last 2. And 1. Good. Now circles. Out to the side. Down, around, and up. Up, out, down and around, up. Up, out, down, and around. Now we reverse. Down, around, all the way up. That one's the hardest, I think. Again, only take this to the range that works for you. Oh yeah, good. Now let's take a nice assisted figure 4 stretch. So keep that right strap on the right foot, cross your right ankle over, your left ankle over the right knee. Bend your right leg. Feel that spring pulling on the strap and the rope, deepening your stretch experience. Put your left hand on your left thigh, right to the side of your knee. Give it a little bit of an oppositional push. See if you can get the very bottom of your sacrum, the area right above your tailbone, heavy on the mat. So you're not automatically flexing the spine and having a big scoop under with the tailbone. Good. Press into the strap. Unwrap the legs. Let's anchor ourselves down on the foot bar. Take that strap off. We'll find the other one. Left foot in the left strap. Extend the leg up to the ceiling. Right ankle crosses the left leg. Bend the left knee. Once again, get the bottom of your sacrum really heavy so it's your anchor. A little bit of pressure into your left thigh. Not right onto the knee, but onto the thigh. Can really help with this too. Take a moment, let the spring pull you back a little bit more. That's one case where I'll let the spring do the work. It's in the stretch. Good. Push into the strap. Extend the leg. Anchor yourself on the right leg. Let's finish up with a nice scooter stretch since we did so much work on the hip flexors. You can go for one heavy and one light on this, or just one heavy depending on your preference. The extra spring clearly will give you a deeper stretch. Curl the left toes under. Place your left foot up against the shoulder block. Give your pelvis a big tuck under. Flex through the spine. I'm sorry if the audio sounds crazy. Keep that tuck. We're just going to send the carriage back a few inches and forth. So you still want that scoop under of the pelvis, and we want that flexion through the upper spine. It's going to deepen the stretch for us. After about your 4th or 5th pulse, let's relax the thoracic spine. Let's relax the low back and push the carriage away. Keep that left hip wrapped down. So we're not tilting down, but we're really square. Arms are straight, front leg is bent. Bring it back in. Big breath in. Push out again. Decide if you want to bring the forearms down to the foot bar. Keep your chest really proud. You could even arch back if you like. Good. Now either we'll take a hamstring stretch where your back leg stays bent and your front leg is extended, or you can take it one step further, try to go for your standing split. Now, I'm a ringer. I'm genetically bendy in a way that makes this not so difficult for me, but that doesn't mean it is normal. So if you have access to a little bit of extension, only take it as far as you can. Good. Bring it all the way in. Close the carriage. Let's go to the other side. Left foot up against the front edge of the machine. Hands on the foot bar. Scoop the pelvis under. Flex through the spine. Now we're going to bring the knee out and in. Keeping our gaze down, even maybe toward our belly button. Pubic bone is curling forward. Good. When you're ready, we're going to relax everything a little bit. Send the carriage back. Front leg is bent. Opening up through the hip on the right side. Wrap that right hip forward so the hips are really square. And bring it back in. Take the variations you like. Probably the same ones from the other side, but if there's something that feels good on this side that didn't feel so great on the other side, feel free to listen to your body on this. Bring it in. Now hamstring stretch or split. For hamstring stretch, back leg stays bent, front leg is extended. For split, you're welcome to extend both legs. Pushing against the foot bar, taking this within your own range. Focusing on relaxing. Deep breaths as you go through this one. When you're ready, bring it all the way in and you are all done. Thank you for joining me today. Please hit the subscribe button below and join my membership for exclusive workouts with weekly workout plans and more. Thank you as always to my membership supporters who are helping making all this free content happen. We so appreciate your support, and extra special thanks as always to the folks who've been with me for 6 months or more. I'm so grateful to be with you every month. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time.